Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday. At least I think I'm going to air this on Thursday. This video is going to be incredible, so please stay tuned until the end. I think this is going to be one of my last haul videos for at least a few days. At least I think so. That's what I'm trying to do anyway. I was packing for another show, and before I started today, I wanted to show you the bracelets that I'm wearing today. These are all natural gemstones, sand cast, sterling silver, modernist. They are artist signed down in here, but you had all asked to see the bracelets that I was wearing in a past video, and there was a match pair of these that I bought at the Emilio Brothers Gem Show. These are all natural stones: peridot, ruby, citrine, garnet, amethyst. There is some sort of topaz, smoky quartz, just really fantastic stones, and I loved the construction of these. And then I space it with this ethnic silver, sterling silver bangle. So I liked the trio, the way that I put these together. So I just wanted to show you the three bracelets that I'm going to wear today. So I'm going to put those on right now, and I'll scoot this into the frame. The first ring I'm showing you here, and thank you so much. See, here I go, jumping right into the light box and not being thankful for all of you taking time to watch this. So thank you so much. And for all the new people, my name is Jason, and I'm a jewelry reseller and a silversmith and a jewelry historian, auction advisor, and I do antique shows, and I sell on eBay. For all of you who have asked for my eBay information, it is on my main page on YouTube. So just go over to my main page on YouTube and you will see the link to my eBay. It's just easier to do it that way. This ring, getting to business now, this ring is just over 5 carats of the most beautiful diamonds set in platinum. It's an eternity band, and they even pave set beautiful, beautiful diamonds on the sides of the ring, and then this fantastic open work filigree on the inside. But look at the quality of these diamonds, and again, look at how close together these are actually set. They're literally set right on top of each other. The scintillation, the fire, the brilliance, just amazing, and it's so soft on the hand. But for an eternity band, this is one of the largest and widest I had ever seen. And I had watched this for a little while at a local pawn shop before I decided to rescue it. And I got a heck of a deal on this. I couldn't, all I can say is I couldn't pass it up. And thank you so much to my local pawn shops, because they have been so good to me through the last, 18 years of my habitual buying. So this will sell very, very quickly, but solid platinum and the most beautiful diamonds. And for those people who don't really like diamonds, I've always said they're just another gemstone, because they are, but these are just, I just love them. The ring wouldn't be the same if those were, pave peridot or pave ruby or pave sapphire. It'd be beautiful. It'd be stunning, especially in sapphire. But when they're diamonds set in platinum, I don't know, there's just something there, some magic there. So anyways, that's the first thing. Then we're going to go into, I went through my, here we go with the bags. And these are all bagged up before, I haven't taken them out of their bags. I bought all of these at 2 estate sales locally. This bracelet is by Vendome. Unfortunately, the clasp is broken, so I have to repair that little tab there, which is a very easy fix for me. As a silversmith, I can easily get that fixed, and the little push tab, I can get that added back on there. But why I show you this is, I tell people, just be careful and slow when attributing makers. Now, if this wasn't signed, people could say, oh, that looks like Shriner. That looks like Shriner because the stones are unusual. And these dog tooth set prongs, that is a strong indicator that it could be by Shriner. But it's clearly marked Vendome on the clasp. So because you see dog tooth prong settings, don't automatically think it's Shriner or attribute it to the wrong maker. Take your time with attributions. And I bring this on because that's a beautiful Vendome bracelet. Very, very unusual color combination. And I could see how it might be easily confused with Shriner if it wasn't signed. You know, if it wasn't signed Vendome, I could see someone saying, well, you know, this, and this. But like I said in my last video, construction-wise, you have to be careful when you're giving attributions. And I said I've been in the business, you know, 28 years, and I'm still learning, and I'm still reluctant to sometimes, you know, give attributions on some things. These have all been bagged up for a very long time. Bought these at 2 local estate sales, and what had happened was the family had just bagged up all of the jewelry. And when I went into the sale, I was there very early. And when I went into the one sale, it was, you have to grab these things or other dealers, you know, are going to have them and you're going to be out of luck. So they were sold per bag, and I did very well. And as you will see, as you stay tuned through the video, you'll see how well I did. I loved the construction on this one. Kind of that atomic burst or Sputnik, little, you know, little kind of explosive, beautiful rhinestones, all set, and beautiful presentation on that. Not sure on maker. I think this set was signed. Maybe it was, is it Robert? Maybe it's Hattie Carnegie. Let me take my loop and take a look. Yeah, thank you for your patience. It's Hattie Carnegie. And look at how unusual it is to have the brooch and pendant and also earrings. Now, the earrings aren't signed, so I always say, oh wait, maybe they are. Maybe one earring is signed. Oh wait, no, they're both signed. I take that back. Both are signed Carnegie. Sometimes the brooch will be signed and the earrings aren't, or vice versa. Sometimes the earrings of the set are signed and the brooch isn't. Now, if this brooch wasn't signed, Hattie Carnegie, and you know, I found it out in the wild, I wouldn't think it was Hattie Carnegie. You know, I would think maybe more in the Robert, possibly Hobe, and on you know, a very poor attribution, Miriam Haskell. But you know, it's signed, so we're good there. But it's got the matching earrings, and that was in this bag. Now, mind you, I think on each one of these bags, I think they were, you see, I forget. I think they were $30 a bag, I think. All the way through. I think so. I think they were $30 a bag. And yeah, look at this one. Really fantastic. Bicolored stones, reverse carved, close back set, and then those kind of topaz stones spaced with Aurora Borealis. Very naturalistic on this. Very beautiful and sizable, in wonderful condition. And again, these bags are so dirty. I mean, they're just so, you know, I'm going to throw that bag away. Hold on. I'm going to put that, this is just going to go loose in here for now because that bag was disgusting. And I think these were, let's see. Oh yeah, these were Florenza. And the one stone is loose, and I think there's one little stone that's out of these. But these were just beautiful. Red Aurora Borealis, and then these foiled cabochons. And that is just glued in. Now, I use 2-part epoxy when I put these back in. I'll show you the epoxy I use. Where is it at? I never use super glue. So please, oh, here it is. Please don't use super glue. The one that I use, and it's all dusty because it's been on my desk for a while, I use JB Weld, and I use quick setting epoxy, and it dries clear. And it's 5-minute set time. Now they have another one that is 40 minutes or an hour set time. I use the 5-minute to hold the stones in place. So anyways, you use the 2 plungers. I'll do a video on this. You take the cap off, you squeeze out the exact same amount of each. So use this plunger style. It will, you know, put out 2 little dollops. You take a toothpick, you mix it together so it's equal parts. That's the important part. And then you just would put a little bit, oh, the stone is now stuck in there. You would use a little bit of epoxy right around this rim, and then you would set the stone in there and just make sure. Now, sometimes I'll put a little epoxy on the back of the stone, but I don't want any of that epoxy to show. So that's the epoxy that I use, and I'll get into repair videos. So you don't have to buy that and start repairs just yet, but I'll get into that because so many of you have asked what kind of glue I used, and that was out on my desk, and what an opportune time to show you. But these are beautiful. I think these were Florenza. Did I say that already? I think they are Florenza. Let's open this up and take a look. Are they Hollycraft? Oh, they're Hollycraft. I am so sorry. Those are Hollycraft. There I go, making mistakes everywhere I go. They do look like Florenza, but those are Hollycraft. A couple of the other stones are out, so I think I have to replace maybe... is there? Yeah, I think there's 2 out on the outside. But yeah, those are Hollycraft. I'm so sorry about that. You'll have to forgive me, but I haven't seen these things for, well, quite a while anyway, buried underneath my dining room table. This is when I was habitually going to estate sales too, which, you know, I've kind of broken that habit over the last, well, few years anyway. But I'll get back to it. You know, I'm going to definitely get back to going to the sales and taking you with me. Let's see if we can move. Yeah, that little mounting needed to be moved up just a little bit. There we go. Now it's equal. And these were just cool. Oh, that one needs to be moved too. Let's move that one over a little bit. Scoot that over. There we go. Got that kind of scooted back in place. So there we go. But these are like these large marquee hot pink. And these are probably late 50s, early 60s. They are not signed. Nope, they're not signed. But those are just great for large pink rhinestone earrings. Love the color, love the design, and very wearable, almost like wing-shaped. So those are very dramatic and very cool. We'll put those back in this bag. And then one more. This brooch was in there, and I really liked this one. And when I saw the color of this and the shape of this, I was like, oh, yes, that's, you know, I'm buying this bag for I think it was $30, like I said. I think all bags were $30. And I think I think I got 10 bags total, so we're going to step on it now. So we'll put that one away. So that is fantastic rhinestones. And then there was a little bit of, let's see here, sorry about the rustling, but this is all still bagged up. And then this one was interesting, and as soon as I saw the one bracelet, the scarab one, I was like, oh yeah, I'll buy that. I'll buy that for sure. This one is a silver necklace, likely India. Some of these are Nepal. This one looks India to me. It is silver, 800 silver more than likely. Yeah, 800 silver on that, definitely. Little tiny granulation, and you can see how those are kind of soldered together. There's a little bit of wear there on that chain, so the chain's definitely brass for sure. That could be oxidation, but I'm going to check that out a little closer. Sorry for all the dirt in the background, but that's the way it is when you buy it in a estate sale and they don't clean anything. You know, and I haven't gone through any of this. This was just stashed. Egyptian, fantastic, definitely silver. I would think 800 silver. It's starting to look a little green, a little oxidation, so there's definitely another alloy in there, but that to me looks 800 silver, and there's the Egyptian hallmark right there. Definitely beautiful. I think that's Horus the falcon. There's an ankh, and the headpiece is wonderful. Might have like 2 uraeus, so I'll have to look close. But yeah, I love it, and I think that's fantastic for filigree. I would wear this, actually. I think that's really nice. And then this, I don't know why they had this in. I guess they thought it was silver, but this is just plated. It's brass, and likely, it's probably Czechoslovakia. Let me take my loupe and take a look. Most of these are Czechoslovakian. And yes, right down here, marked right there, Czechoslovakia. So it's Czechoslovakian, and it's a Art Deco pendant right around the late 1930s on this one. Filigreed metal and beautiful marcasite stones. Those are not bead set. Those are just glued in, but they're all there. Sizable for a marcasite pendant. Very beautiful. So as you can see, I hope you stay tuned because some of these treasures were just outstanding. There wasn't anything like earth-shattering in it, but this I loved. And this is a definite Jason bracelet. That's probably... yeah, that's probably a keep, even though it's a little touristy and a little tourist trade. Egyptian faience pottery scarabs, and these are faience, which is that turquoise glazed pottery. Faience ware is you know, it can be very, very ancient, but these are new and, you know, made for the tourist trade. Those are not ancient scarabs. A little too haphazard and clumsy to be ancient, but very lovely nonetheless. In 800 silver, I would think. I think that's about 800 silver on that one as well. And then maybe the bezels, there might be some brass in the bezels. And then this one, oh, I didn't look at this. Obviously, I forgot. But this was in the bag, and I would have paid 30 for this all by itself. I would have paid $30 for this all by itself, even with that little tiny fissure hairline here and a little tiny fissure crack here. That's normal. And someone did say to me, oh, and there's my turquoise ring of the day. Someone did say to me about turquoise, they said, when you find a cracked turquoise, it's because it took bad energy and protected the wearer. So the mindset of, I guess, collectors and Native American collectors, they think that when there's cracks in the stone, it took kind of, quote, the hit of bad energy to prevent that from getting to the wearer. So that sentiment of why there would be a crack in turquoise. It's a very soft stone, and it cracks quite frequently, but I loved this, and I would still pay $30 for that, even with the cracks, but that's me. There'd be another person that would get that and just be irate and say, well, this is cracked. Well, guess what? It's cracked for a reason, and it's wonderful nonetheless, but to each their own. We all have to have standards of what we find acceptable when it comes to damage in jewelry. So let's get the box cleaned out of all the kind of junk that's in it. And let's get back in this bag. Oh yeah, this will be easy. Oh, excuse the sirens in the background. I do live in the city, so if you could hear the sirens in the background. This one is a reproduction. And I remembered seeing this through the bag, and I thought, oh, that's not old. Well, guess what? It's not old, and it's not right. It's signed right here, Trifari. But do you see how that's like very difficult to read and kind of murky? And it looks like the tag was cast, in place. It was, and this isn't old. This isn't old. And to me, it's a reproduction of Trifari original Jelly Belly. Plus, the metal is just, real flimsy. Look at the foot. The foot's all crooked and bent. Not the quality of Trifari. Missing a stone here. Yes, that's a lucite Jelly Belly, but it's simply not correct. And look at the lucite is like poorly modeled. Yeah, it's all crooked on the bottom. Trifari would have never produced anything that looked like this. It's still whimsical, it's still cool, but just be careful. Reproduction, not worth nearly what an original would be worth. I'd still sell it for maybe $30, $45 after I replace the stone, because it's whimsical and fun. But it's not by Trifari, and it's not old. Okay, so let's be clear on that one. This one is cool. I think the other one of this is in one of the other bags, and I think I've already moved it out of the other bags, but this is Coro sterling, Coro Craft sterling, and it's a fur clip, and it's a duet, so this would have been two side by side. They do come with different colored eyes. I've had it with blue eyes before. They still sell between the $250 mark and the $350 mark. Years and years and years ago, boy, I think I sold my first pair that I bought for like $600. Cold painted enamel. There is some wear to the enamel. The stones have, yellowed and aged over time. I always say, if that bothers you, just avoid buying the piece then. There's no reason to replace every single stone. And I know some people do, and that's okay. That's, again, it's all on personal choice and what someone wants to do. This one's unusual. I've never seen this one before, so we'll get to that in just a moment because I've never seen that brooch before. And I think this one, it is a trembler. Yes, it is. It's a trembler, and it's this electric green and gold. I thought it was Hattie Carnegie. Let me make sure that I tell you correctly. I have my loop out, and I'm taking a look here. Yeah, it's Hattie Carnegie. And sometimes, I've been confusing Alice Cavanis and Hattie Carnegie. And it's sometimes easy to do. Anyways, this is Hattie Carnegie signed. And see how, when I said on that Trifari one, here he is. See how, let me show you side by side. So see how that's kind of more pronounced, that cartouche or the little label that is on. See how it's like raised and a separate piece. Look at how on the Trifari one, you can see that isn't a separate piece. It looks like it is, but you can see that's cast as one piece of metal. This is original and old, and this is a reproduction. So just be mindful on that. And if you're not sure, it's always best to ask someone who's been in the business a long time, and they'll clarify for you. Just because that this other frog was in with these older pieces doesn't mean that it's old. You can't judge the age of something on the proximity of what it's stored with. But this trembler is great. And I think this has better resale now than ever before. These whimsical pins, especially tremblers, they do pretty well now. And I think this is, unusual enough that I think that could command, maybe around 80 to 100, maybe, I think. I mean, I would try it, and if not, I would take less. But again, for $30 for the whole bag, one would pay for the whole thing. This one's the unusual one. This is by Coro. And I don't normally seek out Coro. I will seek out early Coro like this. C-O-R-O. Riveted together construction, so two pieces again, not cast in one piece. I would be very suspicious of this if this was one piece of metal. I'd be very suspicious because something this large would have to have this secondary riveted wing in place. Great enamel work on the feet. Very unusual for an ostrich for design. I've never seen this pin in the books before. I'm sure it exists in the books. I did have a early Coro enamel that I paid very little for, and I believe I sold it on eBay. It's in my community feed. I don't remember what I got, but I want to say close to 1,000. So, some of these can bring exorbitant amounts of money. I think this one is in about the $200 to $300 range. And that might change to, 150 and maybe it goes up to 600, but that's the range anyway. It does need to be cleaned. It's very, very dirty, but I didn't clean any of these things, Look at the bags are just so old, and I need to get these things cleaned up and priced and ready to go. More than likely, most of these we'll head on to eBay, and I might, here's another bag. I might, wow, these are very, very cool. These are loaded. And thank you so much for watching this kind of mini haul. And you know how I feel about the word haul. I don't like it. It's like you haul cow manure. You don't haul jewelry, right? Anyways, these are Czechoslovakian glass and rhinestones. These are deco. These are authentic Art Deco. If someone said they're not, they're wrong. and I would gently correct them. But these are Art Deco Czechoslovakian modeled glass. They're very beautiful. I loved the style of these and the color. It's very lovely. Screw back. And I would say moderately priced. You could ask up to 65 or 75. I don't know if that's fair. Maybe it is for someone who needs to match a necklace of a set, but those were just really lovely. I loved those for Czechoslovakian Art Deco. This has a beautiful central glass stone. Again, I always talk about Leo Popper, and more than likely that is Leo Popper glass, foiled, looks like turquoise. It does have a slight crack there and a slight chip. Most of these do. These are very fragile, but it's in a sash bin right around 1910. 1915, brass and beautiful, so that was fantastic. And again, buying a whole bag for $30, it was like one thing would pay for the whole bag. And I did leave some behind because they weren't very good. So, I had to make some quick choices. And at estate sales, it's always so brisk. And the confusion and, the chattering of other dealers. And, there have been some times when dealers like to talk a lot and distract everybody else. It doesn't work on me. I'm a veteran of it. And, when I was young, it would work on me. I'd get derailed very quickly. Not anymore. I just stay in my lane, block out the static and, the kind of chatter. I think these are Napier, silver plated, not sterling. But those are very cool, very deco, very architectural in a way. I really liked those. Almost celestial design. I don't know. It's very beautiful. This Bakelite brooch is very cool. It needs to be cleaned up, but it's black. One of the least desirable colors when it comes to carving, but very ornately done. Beautiful intaglio carving carved down into that gigantic Bakelite disc. And it does need to be cleaned, I need to clean these things up. Lined on brass on the back, or I should say backed with brass. 2 rivets to hold that piece of Bakelite in place. Really nice. I like that because it can be worn on anything at any time. A deco bracelet. Very beautiful bracelet here. A lot of things were from the 20s and 30s in this collection. Loved that very much. Hinged bracelet in really nice condition. Really, really, really nice condition. Really think that should sell pretty quick. Might be sterling. Yeah, that one might be sterling. I'm going to have to look close and see if it's signed anywhere. Is that sterling? Does that say sterling? Look how I don't know. Yeah, it does. See, I knew by the color of the metal, just because, yeah, there you go, sterling. So a sterling Art Deco bracelet, that's gonna pay for the whole bag. That's gonna pay for everything in it. So I wanted to show you a lot of times. Oh, this is beautiful. I think it's maybe the chain was broken on this. Maybe it wasn't. Oh no, it's just unclasped. So the chain isn't broken. I really like this for a Chinese kind of lavalier. Looks like carved turquoise. And yeah, I would say carved turquoise on that. Beautiful double step pendant. It is sterling. And let's see what it's signed. Yeah, it's sterling with a gold wash. Really beautiful design on that. And I like the frame. Like everything about this. Very delicate, very wearable, beautiful lavalier. So there's that one. And thank you again so much. I think we're now almost halfway through. I think this had maybe some more of the old stuff. Let's see here. This was bag L. I think they had all of them with letters on them. And I think I got 10 of them. This one, it's just kind of all tangled up. It's all deco stuff. This one, I guess I should have looked at this a little more complete. Here's a random rhinestone that's out of something. Yeah, there's stones missing out of that one. This one is Czechoslovakian glass and deco. Very lovely. And then, I just liked this one, so that's why I bought it. I liked that for Egyptian revival. Definitely 20s, 30s, that Tut mania that was going, crazy at the time. Oh, I like this too. A snake around a mother of pearl. Not the best thing I've ever seen because it's a belt buckle, but I thought someone could make this into something. I've always been one to repurpose things like this, and I think that that's totally acceptable when you get such beautiful pieces. This is just interesting. I think these are... Maybe that is, I'm going to have to look at this close. I think that is stone. And then brass, I just liked that idea of having stone in between brass. And I liked the color of that. When that's on, it's just very wearable, very beautiful, very classy. I liked the mellowness of the brass too. It's a good size. It's like a 6.5-inch wrist. Sometimes the deco ones get very, very small and very difficult to wear. And then you have to extend them. And then when you extend them. This is all tangled up on itself. It's kind of a mess. But I will replace all of these stones. So I'll probably, the green one that was out, I think it was red and green. So there was another red one here. And then all 4 of these would be green. So it was red, green, violet, and kind of this sapphire navy blue stone. But look at that center stone. How beautiful. Looks Czechoslovakian to me. I'd be fairly certain that it is. And it has this, oh yeah, it would have been red and green. Has this step down. So at least I know what other color stones were in there. And then a beaded brass chain. Definitely 1920, 1930 on that. But I like this a lot. It just needs some help. But, again, in a $30 bag for everything, I said absolutely yes. Now, we're down to, oops, let's see here. Sorry, this bag is so full. I think these were just crystal, and I say just crystal because I was never really a fan of crystal and beaded stuff. I mean, I was for a minute. The expandable bracelets, and then you might say to me, well, if you weren't a fan of them, why did you buy this bag? You know what? You might have a valid point. I might need a psychologist. But this is why I bought it. I thought this one was really cool. I thought this one just had something better than normal. What does that say? See, I guess I should have looked at all these before it came on. Renaud. R-E-I. Let's make sure I spell it right. It's Renaud. R-E-I-N-A-D. So yeah, Renaud. Very well-known company, but wasn't highly prolific. So I liked that because it went all the way around and all the beads were there. So black and clear crystal. But see, this was more, commercial. And there's nothing wrong with this. I think these are fun and cool, but you can see, they kind of, go a little funky, needs to be cleaned. Those are fun and cool and fashionable, but this had more staying power. That's all. I guess when I shopped, I tried to pick things that were slightly different, I guess. And that was different enough for me. And I liked the mellow color of the metal that wasn't shiny and obnoxious. I liked that. So I think that's why I grabbed that bag. But again, when, I was grabbing, I just had to grab what I could. Let's see. These earrings, no, not so much. Don't love them. And that's okay. I don't have to love them. Now, wait, were these earrings? Oh, okay. So now here's an exception. Here's an exception to my rule. I think, I don't know for sure. I think these earring backs are French. Now, I have seen the earring backs like this from Argentina as well. Very early Argentina costume jewelry. And as I clean out the back of this, because boy, this stuff is a wreck. But I really, really like these. I think why crystal sometimes isn't my jam is it because I see so much of it. I'll say that. I would prefer to see something like this that's much more kind of over the top. So when you space it with rhinestones and you get into like prong setting rhinestones spaced in between these very small hand beaded crystals, this is why I think I reached for the bag plus that other necklace. And I do think that these probably are French earring backs. But again, I don't know because they're not signed. So, you could put a loose attribution and say, French question mark, beaded crystal earrings, and let the buyer decide, because there's other people out there that know more than I do about, earring backs that look like that. I've encountered them only a few times. I did have a pair of early Chanel earrings that had a wire much like that Omega, but very good spring and very good craft. When you hear those clicks, you just know that you're in the presence of really well-made things, and that these are so beautifully done and so fluid. Very, very large. I think that's what, 3.5 inches, almost 4 inches long. These would be late 1930s, early 1940s. Well, no, I take that back. No, I totally take that back. Because there is no Aurora Borealis finish on the crystal. You know what? I'm going to stick with circa 1940, circa 1950. They look earlier, but I don't think they are. And that's not Aurora Borealis. That is just clear crystal. So yeah, they could be, could be late 30s, and if someone wants to fight about it, I'll let them, and I'll watch it, and I won't participate. These are cool. These are cool too. But again, did they change my life, or are they life altering? No, but they're sure fun because they're gigantic. Look how big these crystals are. But you don't normally see them this large. You normally see this kind of cluster without this. But this lady took it a notch up. She was like, I want to be noticed from across the room. And I'm sure she was very fashion forward. So the lady had this, was very fashion forward. But look at that color on that Aurora Borealis. Now I see why people love them, Just because it's not my jam doesn't mean it's wrong. Just means it's not my jam, And we all have our thing that we love. And this just, it wasn't one of them, but hey, when I knew that someone else would enjoy something, I purchased it. Let me clean this box out. I regret that this is so dirty. Let me throw this down in this box over here so I don't get it all over my floor. I just vacuumed yesterday, and I don't want to have to vacuum again anytime soon. I think we're down to 2 bags, maybe 3. This one was cool too. Thank you again for watching the treasure hunt. I think this set is pretty outstanding. Look at those crystals. Yeah. And a giant Aurora Borealis clasp. Oh, yeah. Needs to be cleaned. Look how dirty. So dirty and now oily. I'm like a walking potato chip. Okay, see, I made it 32 minutes today, and now the tires are going to fall off. And I'm going to say stupid stuff. All right, so let's see here. I haven't laughed much yet today. There is a slight crack, and I think this earring, maybe. No, maybe not. Maybe I'm imagining things. But these are by Hobe. And for Hobe, they're unusual for Hobe. But again, I show this because, quote, Shriner used, these dog tooth mountings. And, Juliana did this and this did this. A lot of the companies were using the same findings and the same general feel. Now, if this wasn't signed Hobe, I could think that these were Juliana. D&E, but then again, D&E was producing for a lot of different companies besides Juliana. These are clearly marked Hobe. And that little roller on the earring, that's normal. And that's usual for Hobe. But these are beautiful, kind of a Venetian glass and a jade color. And then there's the bracelet. And it's a clamper style, really good and solid hinge. Really good spring. Always check these and make sure that that's the case. Let me look down in here for one reason. And one reason only. Okay, here we go. Now, when I was going to circuit date this, I was going to say late 50s, early 60s, which is the style of this. The color is much more 60s. So I would say circa 1960. I'm really happy that I waited for a second because look down in here. Let's get up down in there. Look, Hobe, 1965. So there's really no denying that this was made right around 1965. Now, could they have been making it in 1966 and using a 1965 label? Sure could, but I loved the shape and the color of these framing that kind of jade glass stone. So that's a great set. That's a powerhouse of a set. Again, $30 for this and this. I'll sell this for, well, I'll probably sell it for, I would say I would sell this for $30. I know that someone would pay $30 for that, absolutely. You know, keep it moderate, keep it fun, they're in good shape, it's a great color, double strand, that's easily worth $30. But then when you get into this, I think this is like, $185 to 200, $185 to $225, and maybe slightly more. If the person has the necklace to this, that's an exact match. Now I see why they put these together. You know, this is not Hobe, but I see why they put this set together. So they use that as the necklace, and then that as the bracelet and the earrings. Close enough. You know, close enough colors and close enough beauty. So that was really cool for like kind of a married set, you know, very cool. When I saw that through the bag and I saw the color of this, I was like, oh yes, you know, and the quality of seeing each and every stone so carefully pronged set. So look at the craft of the way things are put together, and costume can transcend, it can have a lot of value. Oh, I think well, wait a minute. Oh, okay, yeah, I had 10 bags and there are 3 left. Oh, I don't know what my problem is. All right, thank you so much. 36 minutes. You know, and you all tell me, settle down, take your time. Look how dirty this bag is. That needs to be thrown away. That's basically, you know, pretty disgusting. Let me get the dirt out of this. But yeah, I think the family, when they had bagged this stuff up for the sale, I'm pretty sure they just took it right out of the jewelry chests and, you know, kind of, quote, matched them up, you know, in their bags. And I'm glad that this set stayed together, because I would think that this, wouldn't stay together. And I'm so glad that they did. Sets like this getting a little bit harder to find. So please remember that. This is Miriam Haskell. And of course, as soon as you all saw it, you just knew immediately, oh boy, those are Haskell pearls. What's unusual about this necklace and earrings, the pearls are a champagne color. So they are more of a almost taupe or a creamy, brownish, kind of a mocha color, if you will. And then when you look at these earrings, see how the pearl matches the strand, and then these beads in between, these bugle beads, are copper or bronze colored, and then they use the little seed beads on the earrings. See how Haskell almost always had these little end caps on the pearls? Yes, there is a little bit of green on the metal. You know, to me, you know, again, other collectors have other things to say about that. It does not bother me. I've not had it spread to other pieces in my collection in the time I've been doing this, but I would store this separately. I would put it in a cotton box with cotton and, you know, maybe acid-free paper, but it's not that bad. And once you start to try and clean that, you're going to affect the cotton cording that these are strung on, and you're going to have a mess on your hands. You know, you're going to have a necklace that falls apart, you know, within, you know, a month or so, or even an hour of you know, attempting to clean it. So I just say leave it alone. I will get into, when there's green on a brooch, how you can clean it. So there's the Miriam Haskell mark, and anytime you see this flower head with that's classic with the little seed beads that go around it, anytime you see that, that's Haskell. And then you can see the end caps here. The attention to detail is just so beautiful. That's a very wearable length. I think the shortest strand is 16 inches, and then the longest on the outside is like 18 and a half inches. So very beautiful, very classic for Miriam Haskell. I really loved its simplicity and classiness. And then on the inside of the earrings, they're always signed on the outside, Miriam Haskell. Then sometimes they're signed on the inside. These are not. But sometimes there's a little round circle and it's signed Haskell. But yeah, those are Miriam Haskell. And I loved the condition of this set. Please watch on Miriam Haskell, pearls specifically. The one thing that collectors don't like is seeing chips or wear on the pearls. And none of these were damaged. They are all in really lovely condition. So collectors are real staunch about that on Haskell pearls. If one has a tiny little bit of wear or chipping or fogging to the nacre or that luster, you're into a problem. So just avoid any Haskell that has, you know, kind of any sort of major issues with at least the pearls. On the metal, we can sometimes forgive that. Some people don't. I do, but that's just, again, personal preference and personal choice when it comes to jewelry. 2 more bags and then we're done. 40 minutes in, and I thank you again so much. You are some of the most wonderful people in my life right now, and I really want to thank you from the bottom of my heart because you mean so much. This is just great. I've always loved these, and I just think the design is fantastic, and you know, the peace sign with the painted fingernails, very much so reminiscent of the late 60s, you know, in through the late 70s, you know, more so 70s on this one, but the honest wear to the gold plating, I don't know who did this. Several companies were producing these, and I do sell them every time I get them, and they do sell quite well, so that's a sell. And then this one, unfortunately, what happens with these is the Bakelite will sometimes get sick, and sick Bakelite is something you cannot fix, and unfortunately in this, I think this is Alexander Corda. Yeah, this is Alexander Corda, Thief of Baghdad, and it's just marked Corda, but it's Alexander Corda. I've had these, I don't even know, 50 or 60 times, but it says Thief of Baghdad. I believe that was the movie, and then this is by Corda, C-O-R-D-A, and it's Alexander Corda. But cast pot metal, I think this was late. Again, I'm going on, you know, when the movie was out and released. I think these were produced in the 50s. I believe so. Maybe late 40s, but I think 50s. But yeah, when that starts to happen and you start to have Bakelite do that, this is apple juice Bakelite. And for some reason, heat, humidity, sunlight does this to the Bakelite. It makes it sick. So you can't fix that. What I would do is I would just carefully move these hands back. Since they are spelter, you can kind of work these back carefully, or I might pull this down a little bit. I might get in here and pull this down a little bit. I probably could find an undrilled Bakelite piece that big and replace that. But, you know, these used to go very, very high in perfect condition. I think the one that I sold in the late 90s, I think the one in the late 90s, it was the same genie, fortune teller. I think I got like $275. Now in perfect condition, I think they're down to like $100. So they have, you know, kind of suffered the consequence of time, but still an interesting thing. Again, more dirt in the box. Why not? This is signed, and I think this might be Hobe. Let me check one more time. Thanks again for waiting. Oh, yep, Hobe. I just wanted to make sure, but it's signed underneath there. Let's see if we can get in there and see that a little bit better. So there you go, Hobe. And I guess why I show you this, and I hope you're still here at the end, I think, you know, my profit on this, I think I spent $300 because it was 10 bags. I think I spent $300. I think, and we'll see, you know, maybe what I'll do is I'll do a follow-up video on how much I make. I'm trying to kind of move these so they're in a better position. There we go. I think, profit-wise, I think I'm probably going to make several thousand. Based on what I'm seeing and some of the construction, if I keep the price down, yeah, I think I probably will make around maybe about $2,000. But that depends because there's one other thing. It's over... Where did I put the... Oh, no, there's one more in here. Yeah, I think I'll make about $2,000, but I'm not really worried about it because, you know, I don't compute like that. I just like buying beautiful things and selling them moderately. These are either amber or Bakelite. I'm going to have to look close. I think these are actually amber. Orange rhinestone, this beautiful open work metal, Hobe. Fantastic prong set stones. I love this flower. So that one, maybe $90. Would I take as low as 70? Sure. Would I take as much as 120? Of course I would. So that is very cool for Hobe. And that one would be late, that's late 50s, early 60s on that one. So yeah, there was only 3, so I paid basically 10 a piece for those. And since the Corda was damaged, you can't really say, I guess I paid 15 for the hand and 15 for the Hobe, and then I got the Alexander Corda Thief of Baghdad fortune teller for free. So, and whatever that brings in would be great. This is the last, and this is, I usually don't get into Hollycraft. I used to, I used to sell a lot of Hollycraft. I think this one is dated. Look how wide the bracelet is, and look how massive these earrings are. Such a fantastic and colorful set. When you think of Hollycraft, this is like the pinnacle, and this is like what Hollycraft is most known for. Pastel colored rhinestones and beautiful antiqued gold metal. Most of the stones are glued in, some are occasionally prong set. So the larger ones are prong set and the smaller ones are just glued in. Sometimes you'll be missing quite a few of the small ones. Let's see if this one has a date on it. Let's see here, Hollycraft, and sometimes, yes, copyrighted 1957. So sometimes they're dated. Now there's the signature for Hollycraft, copyrighted 1957. So these there's no denying. I once had a dealer tell me, well, all Hollycraft is from the 70s. And I said, well, not if it was copyrighted in 57. They could have been still making it in the 70s. There's no denying that, There's no fight there. But again, look at the color combination. The purple and there's a blue. Those are all original. That's the way they wanted this to look, is they didn't want it to be a matchy-matchy perfect. But really lovely construction on this Victorian style metal. Very Victorian, like, Austro-Hungarian in color combination and style. And look at the brilliance of those stones. So hopefully you stayed put in this video to see this set, because really beautiful. Years ago, for a bracelet and earrings like this, I was seeing prices in the $400, $500 range all day long. Now I've seen maybe half of that or even less. Because they're just not going for what they used to go for. Copyrighted 1953. It looks like 53 or 52. Let me take a look and see with my tiny little loop. Yep, 1953. This is my loop of choice today too. It's got a plastic lens in it, and it falls apart all the time. But I just put this up inside my eye and then, hold this steady. So you put your eye here, you hold this steady, and you bring the piece up to the loop. Leave this stationary. Don't move this. Don't do that. Leave this stationary at your eye, and then bring the piece up to your eye so that you can see. It's not going to focus because obviously I'm too far away. Yeah, I'm too far away. Let's see. Let's bring this. Yeah, look, I can do it. Maybe. No, now I'm going to laugh and I can't do it. Never mind. Yeah, I can. Look. Okay, there you can see Hollycraft. Well, you can kind of see it. Okay, so anyways, there is wear to the gold plating, and that's normal. Can you repair that? You can. Do you have to? No, not really, because it's just going to wear again. Look at the size of that, and that's very impressive for a Hollycraft bracelet. So I would say on that one, maybe, one little stone is out. I have to replace that one. I would say maybe on this, maybe it's, maybe it's still like $250, and on a bad day, I guess maybe it's only $200 or $185. So, but again, good profit for me, and then I make a customer very happy to be able to afford something like this. So, how I end it, I was going to show you one more thing, and I think, let's see here. No, I don't have it on my desk. That's okay. So I'll have it for the next video. So how I end this. I really want to wish you an amazing Thursday. I think I am going to take tomorrow off, which is Friday. And then I will rejoin you on Saturday and Sunday. So I don't think I have anything to release tomorrow. Maybe a short feed. Maybe that would be fun to do a short feed. So how I end this. Thank you so much for joining in. You are a blessing to my life. You're important to my channel. And maybe that's reverse. Maybe you're important to my life and a blessing to my channel, but you are fantastic. And I have to tell you how much I really do appreciate everything you do for me. The comments are amazing. The love I feel is fantastic. And I want you to go forward and have an amazing weekend and a safe weekend. And you know how I end this? I absolutely love you because I do.